Okay, welcome back. I've just got back from a bushwalk. Amazing time. Now, we're Aussies, and Aussies, even in urban areas, you can go 10-15 minutes out. You can find yourself a bit of bush somewhere to go for a walk in. And what's going on is from Gold Coast, you've only got to go 5 minutes from where you live and you'll find somewhere to walk. Just give me a second here, folks. Let me pause this video. Right, so what's going on? We ran across something amazing this morning, and I've never seen one in the wild, and I saw it for the first time. I've lived around this area the better part of my life, not most, like more than half of it. It's my hometown. All the time, used as kids going through the bush, all that. Never seen one. Now, you guys know about our spiny anteater, the Echidna. I saw one on our walk this morning, and I took some photos. So we saw him walking, but by the time we got near him to take a photo, that we could take a photo, he did his ball thing, and he was just spines in the bush. I've never actually seen one in the wild. Now, if you're wondering, then they're unique to Australia and they're quite rare. You don't often see them. It's the first one I've seen in all of my 57 years in the wild. I've seen a couple in the zoo, right, but never in the wild. And I keep bees and I've gone bushwalking and all this stuff. I've never seen one in the wild, and today I saw one, first time. So that was kind of exciting, it was good. Actually, it's a cup of tea today. I haven't got my favourite cup. Horrible news. Favourite cup's in the washing up, and I had my my one good coffee. I had that this morning, so that's gone. I'm only allowed one a day again. Now, for those of you that are following along, the weight's 107, so it's gone back up, and I've been struggling with weight. I got crook, so it's been a couple of weeks since I posted. I've been doing some training, and I jiggered up my back a bit when I did some bee work, and the training is for doing a warehouse job of all things, so I'm supposed to do a lifting and fitness test to get the job next week. So I don't know how I'm going to go with that because my back's still a bit tweaked from doing the bee work. I think I must have lifted about 140 kilograms, something like that. And it was supposed to be between two of us, and I think the other guy, for whatever reason, had to drop the weight, and I caught the lot of it for a second or two, and that was all it took. So I had the whole 140 kilograms on me at a deadlift point out here, and you can't drop beast, you just can't. So I took it down onto my knee, and I had the box, and then a freaking nail went through my glove, and it's just horrible gear and a horrible point and a horrible night. I got stung to the shit house, and I got 300 odd stings on me on the night. All on my hand, and my hand come up like a boxing glove. Pretty decent bit of stinging going on, and they were pretty aggro bees, but they couldn't fly, but they could sure crawl all over you. And once they find a hole in your glove, that's it. Bang, 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 like sting after sting after sting on that same spot. And I got a lot of stings in one spot, and of course that caused the hand to swell up a fair bit. So when I got home, I had kind of a boxing glove going on, and I was feeling a little bit high because I was bee venom floating around in me. And I don't mind getting stung, that's fine, that's part of the course. But when you work with people that just don't listen and don't know what they're doing, it's time to sort of move on to the next job. You don't work with people that don't listen to you. They're not part of your team if they're not listening to you. And if you're in a situation where people are just not listening and you're giving out good advice and they're just going, no, 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 it's just, that's all I hear, you know, no, 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 and off they go. You know, you got to let them go. You just sell it. Bye. Unfortunately, I was kind of trapped because I was out in the middle of the bush and they had the only vehicle within Kiwi. So I was trapped in the situation and I had to do it. But I doubt that I'll shift any bees with these guys again. You know, not like that. Never again. If they don't listen, they can all go bugger off. It's much easier. You shut your bees in, you shift them, you open them up, and off you go. And they take 24 hours to settle in. You don't touch them for 24 hours. Just let them settle in. And 24 hours later, you come back and your bees are happy and you're happy and everyone's happy. You know what I'm saying? You don't rob them of honey, then shift them, and then shift them open hive and bounce them all over the highway and bounce them all over the track and bounce them all over this and bounce them when you're putting them down. And your bees aren't happy. You've got to be gentle, you've got to be patient, and you've got to do it the right way. So, now, what was I going to say? I was talking about the Echidna. I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to get the footage of the Echidna and I'm going to try to show you guys the shots. But today was just this is just an update, general update. We've got more jobs than we can poke a stick at. We've got this job here on this side. I don't know if you can see it. There it is, right there. See it? It's a mate's computer. The same mate, in fact, that gave me the job behind me, if I can show it to you, that job that's in pieces up there, the Yamaha thing, it's the same bloke that gave me that. And he's also given me a solar array thing that he had in his garden. It was just a trickle charger for his batteries, for his motorbikes, and it stopped working, and I pulled it apart and it was full of ants. There was a big ant's nest in it. And I had ants going everywhere on my table. I didn't even think there'd be anything in it because he didn't tell me he had it in the yard. It was supposed to be in his shed. It might have been in his shed, so he might have ants nesting in his shed. I don't know. But anyway, in his garage, I meant. Not his shed, but his garage, you know. It's where he parks his motorbikes and things. It's quite clean in there, and there shouldn't have been ants in it. But there were. Big old ants nest in the back, and I had ants crawling all over me travel cup. When I come in there this morning, I thought, where the hell have they come from? And it took me 2 seconds to find out. They came out of the back of that bloody solar array thing. So it's outside on the balcony. It got a spray of, well, it got shaken out within an inch of its life. All the ants ended up over the balcony. But there were eggs and all sorts of things there, and I just ended up, whatever was left, I sprayed it with insecticide that Wileone buys. I hate killing things, I really do, but look, these were introduced to here, and they weren't native ants that they introduced, and so sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get the job done, and I needed those ants out of there. I just sprayed them. I've got only blowers. I've got that little squeezy blower. But I ended up spraying them with insecticide and just leaving them out there. There's lots of dead ants out there on the balcony at the moment. They're all falling all over it. I've got to give that a sweep off and throw them out. You know, a lot of them escaped into the garden, but those that didn't, they got killed. And I hate killing stuff. I'd rather have blown them out if I could, but I don't have that gear here. Don't have a compressor. Right, so what's next? It's pretty simple, really. This laptop is his MacBook Pro. Now what's going on with it is it's not accepting a charge, and he's got a lot of information on there that he wants to recover. So what happened is I finally worked out that I could force it to charge by forcing some power through it with my power supply over here, which you can just see the corner of. So I forced a bit of current into it with that. Onto its connectors there, and I got it to take a charge, and I actually had it fully charged up. But as soon as I asked it to do anything, it completely discharged. As soon as I plugged into the USB port, in fact, the whole battery just went zzz. So my theory is that the battery that's in it is completely depleted and it requires a new battery. And you could pull it apart and get to the battery and get a new battery for it and put it all back together. And you might find that it's got other problems because, let me see if I can show it to you. Let's have a look at his keyboard here for a sec. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. Have a look at this thing. You know, that's not very good. That's melted. And there's lots of crap over it, as you can see. It's just covered in crap. And I want to give it a good service and maybe see if I can just replace this key if I can. The actual pad underneath is fine. It's just the cover piece is no good. So all I want to do is just get the cover for it. That's all I need. I don't need anything else. But I don't know why that melted is the other thing. I have no idea why that's actually melted. Found itself in that can. There it is. It's just popped off. See that? It's completely melted. I can't see a reason for that, but yeah, it has. It's done a good job of melting. And the key still works. Everything on the keyboard works. Does everything but turn on. And I got it to turn on, and I was copying stuff onto the USB, and it just went and sucked the battery dry. So I might have to see if I can find a powered external USB drive. I've got them floating around. I haven't used them for years. So I might get one of those out of the mothballs. Yeah, I've got like a 200 gig one somewhere floating around. I'll plug it in, get it going, and get the data off on a powered drive so that it's not drawing power on that USB port. And hopefully there'll be enough in the computer that it can actually do what it needs to do to push it all across. It's all solid state drives on these apples. And then it'll probably put it on its own hidden partition as well, because it won't want to copy it off to a Windows partition, excuse me. So it's a job. I might document that one. It's a good job because I've got his password. You know, I've got my charger. That's the charger off my laptop that was stolen. So it's actually my charger, not his charger. But he said he can't find his charger, and he hasn't used this in some time. And I can see why. It's not a very friendly thing to use. The way it's set up at the moment, it's got crap everywhere. Like his files are all over his desktop. It's the usual, I don't know how to use computers bullshit. And it doesn't matter that you don't. There's things in Apple that help you along, and you don't have to know how to use computers to use it properly. And Apple is pretty good at it. I actually think they do a good job of it, a better job of it than Microsoft do. But having said that, if they get it wrong, you can end up in a world of hurt, and there's a world of hurt going on with this poor old thing. For one thing, when you're turning it on, it gets really, really hot. It actually overheats the buggery underneath. You could cook an egg on the bottom cover. So that's a job. That thing behind me is a job. Status update for the camera. I bought this tripod for it, so we've now got a tripod for our little Canon camera. The problem with that camera is that the viewfinder is behind the camera, so if you're in front of it, you've got no idea of what's going on in the viewfinder. And unless you're plugged into an external computer or external thing, you can't see it. And my problem with that is that I'm usually in front of the camera, so I've got no idea what it's focused on. If I'm behind it, it's easy. And even then, I'm trying to talk to something and focus the camera, and I look away and I look at what I'm taking a photo of my crotch or something. I'm not a photographer, you know. I really am not. I take great photos of my thumb, my crotch, my arm, You know, my shirt. I've taken some great photos of my feet. Fantastic stuff. Riveting. All right, so I've been talking for 14 minutes on this update. I've got to get serious about the weight. I'm getting lectured. I'm trying to get a warehouse job, and to do that, you've got to be relatively fit. So I've got to get my fitness levels up. I've been doing the bushwalks. It's telling me I'm 107 kg, but I know I'm not. So that's some situation of bloating, because I feel really bloated. And I know that I had I had a meal last night that I was forced into because there was literally nothing else left, and I wasn't real happy about it, and I think it didn't agree with me either. So, I think my real weight, my true weight's around 105, and I think once everything flushes through the system, I'll come back in at around 105 kilos. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm walking every day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I've got 3 walks planned. And by about Wednesday night, I hope I'll be down around 104 kilos. And that's where I need to be, at 104. Because everything starts to work properly at 104. My blood pressure goes good. Everything goes good at 104. And at the moment, I'm carrying 3 kilograms too much, and it's got to go. It's got to go quick. And it will. It came on quick. It can go just as quick. As far as I'm concerned, I couldn't tell you what I've eaten to put that kind of weight on. I just couldn't tell you. It's not like I've gone to town on bad stuff. It's just that I've eaten. Well, I've stopped exercising is what it is, because I've been crook. I had my back go out on me. But I was doing bees before it went out on me. So, like when you're working the bees, it's really good exercise. So I just have no excuses. It's my decisions, my own doing, and I've just got to do what it takes to get back to where I was at 105. And I can't do it too quickly. I've got to do it at my pace. But if I do a walk every day, even if it's only 2-3 kilometres every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I do 3 to 4 kilometres a day is even better. I do 12 kilometres in 3 days and take off a kilo. So a kilo will disappear like that. And if you do them daily, because you're burning up your fats, it actually starts to burn your body fats. And that's what you've got to get happening. And once you get that rolling, then you've got to keep it rolling. You've got to keep the exercise regime up so that your body fat continues to burn and you take weight off. At the moment, it's putting weight on, because it thinks I'm going to be doing a lot of exercise, which I am, and it's going to need that energy later, which it is. So it's all good from that point of view. I'm pissed off with Project Wileone1. Every day I come to do it, we've had a little bit of weather, a little bit of rain, and I wanted to jump out there with the sandpaper and get back into it again. But just at the moment, again, it's damp, and we had some rain last night, and the ground's damp, and there's just too much humidity, and you can't go out there with the air like it is, because you'll get moisture back through the wood. So the Wileone1 stays inside, stays in here with me, no salt, no moisture in it. I've got to go over to my mate's place. He's got some problems with his bathroom door, and I've bought a striker plate to fix the problems with his bathroom door, because the striker plate's gone. It's gone the way of the data. I've no idea where it is. So what I've done is I've bought a new striker plate, and I'm just going to fit that this afternoon so his bathroom door will work correctly. And I'm going to change out some light bulbs for him so that he's got light above his bathroom mirror. So if I can just get that out of the road this afternoon, that keeps him happy. And well, I've got to print some stuff out. That's the other thing I've got to do. So he's got some mail, and I've just got to print that out and scan it and get it in his email. So I've got to scan it and email it to him. So that's all I've got to get done like right now, because I've got to be over there at 1 o'clock and it's nearly 12:30. So I've only got like half an hour left. Okay, so let me get into it, and I'll see you guys at the next video. This is just a general update video, and I'll put up the photos of the Echidna. Alright, let's go. Thanks for watching. Okay, so this is our Echidna, and as I said, this is the very first time I've ever seen one in the wild. And here he is, he's all curled up in a ball, and all you can see of him in amongst the leaf litter is all his spines. He's pretty well protected in there. We took a couple of photos of him and just left him where he was and moved on. But it was quite a rewarding bushwalk, and I felt quite honoured to be in the presence of this beautiful animal. Okay everyone, hi again. Just to follow up on that video, with the laptop I ended up packing it up and giving it back to the guy because he actually bought another computer, and he literally said to me he would never use that computer. I managed to get the data off it by getting my charger back into the machine and getting it to take a charge and fully charge, but this time accepting the charge from my charger, my old laptop charger from the laptop that was stolen. So once I got the data off, that was the end of that project. It got packed up and given back to him. Similarly with the solar array, once I explained to him that it had a big ants farm behind it, he says, oh, you know what, that happened to me once before with a different one, and I just needed to blow it out with the compressor and it all worked fine. And I said, well, the wiring test's fine, there's no broken circuitry in it, and I think if you just put it on, he said, just give it back to me in a bag, I'll put it back together and I'll blow it out with the compressor. So he got that back as well. And so those two little jobs were done, and he was happy with that in return for the work that he did on the bike. So that was good. That was a bit of, quid pro quo. He helped me with the brakes. I got that for him. So he's got his data. He's happy. He's on his way. The weight came back to 105.6, and there was indeed quite a bit of bloating going on with the weight. I felt bloated. I hadn't been feeling very well. I'm actually over the back injury. Did not get the warehouse job. I never heard another word out of them. They've gone the way of the dodo, I think. I went up for the interview. I seemed to do all right at that, and just never heard. So I don't believe I got the job. So I'm still unemployed. I've got a job interview tomorrow with an IT firm. So it's not engineering, it's IT. It's not what I want, but it's a job, and I'm no choice. I've got to take a job. Got to get employed. I found out some things about the Yamaha amplifier tuner system that was on the disc. I've pulled it completely down. This is a heavy beastie. I've got the transformer out, as you can see. I'm still very wary of this thing. Not very happy with it. There's a little spider living in it, and he built a web down the back of that transformer and behind the tape. I've blown it out with my little blower thing, with the little airy blower thing that I've got, which I can't even see in the dark. It's around here somewhere. My little rubber ball blower, when you squeeze it. This one. Best dad in the galaxy. Right, that's my compressed air. So when you put it on something, you can blow compressed air through it. Oh geez, look at the shit falling out of that. A lot of it. There's our little spider. Just found him. Let's crawl away over there. I just blew the spider out of him. Might blow half of his web out. I just keep doing that. I really need to get myself a micro compressor for in here that I can just blow shit out. Just a small one. Alright, Might be something I'll look up on eBay, a little 12 volt compressor, just a small one. Something to think about. Anyway, I wanted to give you that update. I've got the photo of the Echidna in here. I've told you about the laptop, and I've told you about the solar array thing. They just went back to the guy. He's happy he can put the solar array back together himself. He's happy to do that, and it's working fine. I've tested the wiring. I've tested its operation on the balcony. It's producing a current, and it puts out about 7 volts and about half an amp, 500 milliamps. I think it can do better with if it's got better sunlight, you know. So it probably puts out about 14 volts and half an amp, but it still put out 7 volts and half an amp, which I thought was quite all right. So I think we're going to wrap up here. Thanks for tuning in. Make good decisions. Do good things. Keep on swinging. Can't do it. Do it anyway. Catch you at the next one.